it took forever for me to get through. I'm sorry about that. No, it was the hardest thing because, you know, after seeing him leaving, I felt so totally bad. You have no idea. Yeah, no, as he was leaving, I was just thinking, I'm far away and I'm outside watching him going to the bus to leave, and I was just like sitting there like alone, isolated. And it was like I was away from my only love, my obsession. That's what it totally seemed like. And so I was sitting there for a while, and I thought, well, wait, why don't I fill out a fountain pen, and I've got paper, and I'll just, you know, look at the lines and the contours of his face. You know, like I haven't seen him before. But I decided I'd start defining the piercing eyes. I know his little pointed nose that I love so much. And those tender lips. I felt so bad that he was going. So I decided to feverishly draw, and I would sketch. I would capture his image. I was staring. I was gazing. At the same time, I was memorizing his every detail. But the thing is, he never looked back. He was on his way out. So I just decided that I'd sit there and draw until my pen actually ran out. I couldn't believe it. So, and then after he left, he was going off on the bus, and I decided while I was outside, I'm gonna I found a stick in the ground, and I actually wrote his name in the ground. And you know, this is right over by the church where the bus took him off from. And I was just thinking of the preacher there, and he was just like saying, oh, the preacher says, you know, the number one sin is lust. Well, then I'm condemned to hell. I'm sorry, because I want him. And I don't care what preacher says, because, you know, if those elements wash away his name tonight, I'll come back every day to write it again. Hold on. I think I got my bell. Hold on a second. Ellen, hi. Oh, how are you? It's been weird. Well, the thing that was, oh God, you were talking about that thing from a couple of weeks ago. Well, I was sitting at the front seat of Lisa's car, and I can't even remember if it was a rental or the one that she borrowed from her dad or somebody else, because she didn't have one at the time. And my face and my chest was like sunburnt. I could feel the top layer of my skin burning. I always had to dress up when I was around her. I mean, she always looked like the prettier one, so I always felt like I had to do something more. And I was sitting there in the car with her, and she was putting on her burgundy lipstick while looking in the rearview mirror. No. You know, my dad always hated her. Anyway, so she finally finished putting on her burgundy makeup, and she lit up her cigarette, like I think it was a menthol, with the car lighter. And I asked her, because we had just pulled into that strip mall, I think it was on Davis Boulevard, I don't know what it was, and David, who was sitting in the back seat, he got out and he went in. And the thing is, he sounded really down and quiet. Normally he's very talkative, and I'm like, Lisa, what's up with David? What's going on? And she's like, well, I think actually that he's like, you know, I know he's going in to get smokes, like Marlboros or something, because he always had to get something that was cooler than the ones that they would get in Canada, because they always had like 2 rows of 10 versus 2 rows of 7 and 1 of 6, and the cigarette packs, and they were shorter or whatever. But it was the closest thing that they could find. But she was saying that he was feeling bad because he was going through the drawl or something, like he had no cocaine. And he had like the shakes or something. Well, I don't know if he was having the shakes. It was just whatever you get when you don't have cocaine for a while. At least that's what he was going through. And so I was sitting there mad after she told me that, because, you know, he was all screwed up in this whole trip in the first place. And the other weird thing is that he wouldn't even bother telling me this. And then when he got back into the car, I had to act like absolutely nothing happened. I know. Well, what was I supposed to do about it? Well, I have to act like a... Oh, hold on a second. No, it's Steve. No, he's been calling me. I can't help. He's been calling me, and I don't know how many voicemail messages I have. I think I have to take this one. Maybe he'll actually shut him up. All right, thank you. Hi. Yes. Yeah, I know. Yes, you're right. I'm answering this now because I just wanted to tell you to please put it to rest. I can't even think anymore. I have a life to lead, and all you do is you come to me and you remind me, and I don't want you to come to me anymore. Don't come to me anymore. Don't talk to me. Don't love me. The past may be vivid in your mind, but your wretched, pathetic acts are... Well, I'm sorry. No, I have to live in the present, and I'm sorry, but I can't go back to what we had. I don't know how many years, 2 years, it doesn't matter. I know how we were in the... Yes, you screamed in the car at me to pull over. You wanted me to stop. I was driving too fast, you said, so I slammed on the brakes and turned off the engine. Yeah. Well, you know, when I turned off the engine, I wanted to get out of that car and run. Run until I lost myself. No, but what you don't know is, at the same time, when I got out, I wanted to fall. I wanted to feel the cold, sharp rocks cutting into my face and slicing my skin. Oh no, versus the pain that you put me through, I actually wanted pain to feel good again. I mean, you were sitting in the car clueless to the thoughts going through my head, to the nausea, to the surrealism. So I would just want to stand outside my car, feeling the condensation of my breath rolling past my face in the wind. It was a constant nagging reminder that I still had to breathe. What? I know. All right. You wanted to know what I did afterward? Fine. I drank a lot. You know that extra bottle of vodka that you had left at my place? Yeah. I was going through that, and I was starting on a second one, too. No. I was drinking that final swig of vodka, feeling it burn its way down my throat. I was even actually hissing and scorching my tongue before I reached for that bottle to pour myself another. You know, thinking of you, I thought of how my tonsils screamed every time I let the alcohol rape me. Yeah. And then I'd look down at my hands, shaking, holding that glass of poison, and think of how these were the hands that should have pushed you away from me, but didn't. I keep wondering why I took your hell, took your poison. I remember how you burned your way through me. You corrupted me from the inside out, and I kept coming back. I let you infect me, and then you burned a hole right through me. I hated it. Now I have to rid myself of you. And my escape is flowing between the ice cubes in the glass nestled in my palm. So goodbye. Because I have to drink more. Because the burning will never last as long as he does. You know, I don't have a smartphone. I have a vengeful phone, because it always seems to speed dial my ex when I happen to be yelling about how much I hate him on it. So I think it's a vengeful phone, it's not a smartphone. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hi there, and thank you for coming to watch the Chicago Gallery I was like, well, you know, nobody wants to start and people aren't here right away, so I'm just going to act like I'm on the phone. Because how many times do you walk down the street and it's like somebody's like telling you about how their gynecology exam was, and they're yelling this out to people, right? So I'm just like, I think, you know, people tell too many stories like that. Hi, by the way, I didn't get to see everybody here. And people are just coming in like mad, and hi, and we've got Gary here, and we've got a ton of cool people, and the first things first, well, the last thing would be first. We have to give it up for a phenomenal feature this evening, who's actually here. We give it up for Miss Robin Fine. Come on.
She is.
Yeah, she was here. I'm like, don't tell me she left. What? She's like, wait, I gotta go to work early, I gotta leave. What? So hi, and I don't know if these boys would like to play music now or if you'd like to do it later, because Gary, the phenomenal pianist here, came up. Yay for Gary! Woo! actually done music that was a song from Mr. John Yatko. And I was like, hell, save it for when John's in town because I want John to hear it. And now he's going to actually join it. So this is probably, yes, please do. This is probably the last time in a very long time you will hear this song Made Any Difference because they've got to figure out their stuff. Probably the last time in a long time because this will be the last thing they'll fit on the CD single for Made Any Difference. And I love the fact that I'm hearing this. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Gary and John, and this is Made Any Difference. So I'm at my bar, my favorite hangout, and I just what happened?
I screwed up. Sorry.
Maybe we should, wait, boys and girls. Let's go, oh, let's screw up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start that again. This is, we've never done this before. We're seeing how this works. This has Made Any Difference. Talking and another guy who's always here in the past few months has had a few strokes. Now this is a grapevine, I just heard snippets, but I need to see him put in my 2 cents. He went out for a smoke, and even though I don't, I walked up to him after he lit up. I reached my hand out toward his cigarette. He offered me a new one. I reached my hand out toward his cigarette, but I wanted his. Then holding his smoke, I told him that I heard. I spoke of his wife, asked about his kids. And I don't really want to get on a high horse here, but we care for him, we want him happy. He said I was right and he'll take some time off. Then he saw his smoke, said that he should quit. And then I walked away. I was not toward the cigarette. He offered me a new one. I reached my hand down toward the cigarette, but I wanted there a while, sucking nicotine, wondering if I made any difference. I reached my hand out toward his cigarette. That was very cool. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. John Yacco. I should give it up for John Yacco right now. That was his song. And he was like, "I'll just start playing." I'm like, "You're awesome." And because we won't do it later, give it up for Gary. Thank you. And because I don't have my list, I think I'm going to have to randomly pick a number on my list, and I think it'll have to be number 6. Because I think of the Kuyper liqueur when I first saw Mr. DeCatch. So please give it up for Mr. Scott DeCatch. For people who aren't familiar with the evening, we would record the open mic as well. If you have some evil issue with being recorded, because it might be a podcast as well, let me know. Otherwise, I get hot sent to studs like you and everybody here on film. So. Studs like you.
I don't know about that.
I do.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the Gallery Cabaret.
How are you, Scott?
I'm good. How are you, Dave?
I'm doing all right.
Fantastic.
See you there.
I wrote this 4 years ago this week during the Republican conventions of '08. I was going to a poetry reading on the number 11 bus. This is called Off Topic Free Ride on a Bus. Go figure that. That fat old sun, she's a blood orange, peeks out from behind chalky clouds, traces their purple as if they were islands, and she, core of the earth, light bulb in a globe, bought at a novelty shop, $10 or less, and dies in the West to become the catalyst for all religion. The childhood rhymes my granddad sang, sailor's delight, that old world voodoo, the herbs collected for mojos by my granny, roots, essential oils, that third eye, she said, back of her head. She was born, her parents' kitchen, Ambridge, PA, in 1911, same year as the last rivets into the iron of that great unsinkable, the Crown's Titanic, gigantic empire, and the boat was long, the songs from Tin Pan Alley to celebrate her, this ironclad Jesus, or a second coming of old Viking studs, blue-eyed Injuns, forced love born before Columbus. I went to the store. I bought a pint of Gordon's, went home to the news on the internets, and outside the impending southerly storm clouds, the president hid. I met the new same old boss. Hurricanes formed and fell into the land. The candidates huddled and made nice on TV. There was a vacuum. It swallowed us all, taking less time than the bomb. Thank you. This is called the High Road Drive-In. The High Road Drive-In is a drive-in in Hardin County, Ohio, which is in the far western part of the state where people raise hogs to live. The High Road Drive-In. We lead-footed down US 68 past Dunkirk to Columbus for a wedding. 20-year-old music from my boyhood shuffling the big West Ohio sky. Clear and cool at noon, first day of spring, and nearly blew by it to spite our eyes peeled for it, anonymous, almost hidden. Outside passenger side window just beyond, irrigation ditch hemmed in by distant tree lines not yet leaves, rumble of tires on gravel in reverse to pull into its dirt driveway, disembark and photograph. Sun, weather-bleached box office marquee recalling tornadoes on Katie's birthday, June '89, broke off and carried away the bigger part of its whitewashed plywood screen, yet unmended, to leave Those few here for the movies squinting as if watching grandparents' portable TVs. Oblivious, it would seem, to advances of kids like me there to lose, take cherries now as then and back to frame the marquee, this tumbleweed, if you will, to that cobwebbed corner, my sentimental mind, and take cover behind driver's side door to skirt wind-kicked dust, resume driving, sign aliases in an antique cafe guest book down road in Kenton, marvel at unchanged farm machines, foreground to yellow thaw, 19th to be exact since I last blew through, and left behind, and Stipe's voice filling the car rings apropos. Take a picture here. Take a souvenir. Thanks. Got one more thing to read, I think. If it's queued up, and if it's not, then I'll just be done, and we'll feel awkward about it. Here we go. I didn't write this, but I read this a few weeks ago, and I think everyone should read this book. His life was a ceaseless series of lusts, for tobacco so good he could eat it like meat, for coffee, for bread, for sleep, for whiskey, for women, for dice games and ball games and personal triumphs in public places. Day and night, one or all of these rode him, and was never fully satisfied, even for a while. They could no more be satisfied than they could be evaded. He walked only from the waist down, the whole torso resting without effort on the loose muscled movement of the hips. Reared in fear of cold and hunger, he retained a wistful longing for the warmth and security of the womb. There it was always warm. It felt like a half-memory in him when he came to any dark, windless place. He could not recall a time when he had not preferred silence and darkness to daylight and struggle. He could see almost as well at night with his pale Tartar eyes as he could at noon, so that he sometimes boasted, "That's why I'm just a rover boy, fellas. I like to rove at night." Now he saw the heavy, regular, riveted beams in a small junk fire smoldering near Chicago Avenue, closed his eyes as he walked, knowing the way so well. The early autumn dark felt physically good, like a warm bath after a day shoveling snow in open streets, a thing good in itself. When he opened his eyes, sparks were drifting down from between the ties, floating toward the littered places where the gray cats lived. In the half-darkened Division Street Gospoda's, beer was a nickel a glass, and the big bass jukes played only Polish songs. 3 oversized Polish piano accordions played "I Want Some Seafood, Mama." At the same time, the juke played the Po-Zawabi polka, each trying to drown out the other so you couldn't hear what the drunk beside you, with his head on the bar, was trying to sing at all. But you could tell what the girls were singing, and if you didn't smile back, they stamped their feet angrily at you. He had once seen a wolf's head in a Milwaukee Avenue taxidermist's window, above a bare varnished floor with nothing around but a couple of chairs and an empty paint can lying on its side. He had thought dimly of himself since, as a hunter in a barren place. "I've been hungry all my life, all the time," he told himself. "I never get my teeth into anything on my own." Too hungry for the arid place he'd been born in, for lights, music, the women of the Gospodas, all these awakened the hunger in a man. The same hunger that might, wolf-like, lie sleeping for an hour or a day, or else waken and keep a man in trouble the rest of his life. Thank you. Yeah, it's Never Come Morning.
Never Come Morning.
Yeah, have you
I
read
think it
that?
was one years ago.
I just got a tablet thing, and I bring PDF files so that I can read stuff for my notes for doing things for my. I'm like, I'll be at work and I'm like, I'm going to read about Argon because that's the next poem I have to write. And that's what I'm doing here with my tablet. I don't bring it here. And Dan Clary, I'm assuming you would like to be in this open mic because I see people and I'm like, you're not on the list. If anybody, and I've scribbled you down, if anybody has not been put onto the list, come and bug me right afterward. But right now, I'm going to tell you that the next guy up, and by the way, the man on deck after Michael Hogue will be Bob Rashkow. So please, in the interim, please give it up for Mr. Michael Hogue.
Yay. Thanks. Janet, that was a beautiful song.
Oh, thank John for the music.
Oh, yeah.
That was John's song. He's awesome.
And the conversation really felt like you were breaking up. It really sounded good.
What? The conversation, the
Oh,
one beforehand?
what you started?
I was like, I might as well, you know, because how many times do you hear that on the phone? People talking and saying their life story and something really disgusting and screaming it out on a phone.
But it was convincing what you
Yeah, but yours was excellent.
Well, that was the point, because, you know, conversational stuff. But now it's your turn for
Thank
awesome
you.
stuff.
I'm going to read an old one. Your face is water at the bottom of a pool, a side of carp, minnows in your eyes, silent ears, wet eyes. Your face is water at the bottom of an ocean, under a mile of water weight, clear and dark, cold and old, tumbling like centuries. Your face is water at the bottom of a glass, above a fork, below the salt, to the right of the wand, cramped in a glass, a smashed nose and flattened ears, and no room for an expression. Your face is water inside a pipe, potable and soiled, hidden and rushing on fast to a faucet or a sewer, turning like a bolt, hair leading, neck going forward with purpose. Your face is water at the bottom of a drop, hanging softly, falling brightly, rolling gently. One drop among a zillion in a storm, still among the others, racing along to the ground. Your face is water held in a cupped hand, ready to wash, ready to drink, floating between fingers and thumbs, see-through and smiling, toiling and crying. Hey mole, let me have a worm. I'll water the ground and plant worm-loving birds. I'll keep the mole eaters out and never pour a footing. Just let me have a worm. Hey mole, let me stay underground. I'll lose my eyes and start hearing. We'll skim just below the surface. You curl to the right and I'll twist to the left, and together we'll do the mole dance. Just let me stay underground. How about another short one? I like my short ones. I think I read this here. It's okay. Boil ocean water and cook the sea. Rub with salt and make the cabbage cake. Make our cabbage cake and ice with sea foam. Half and fourth it and count the eighths. With you at the table and me at the floor, together we'll talk to warm colors and separate orange from green. Together we'll spray sand clean and resuscitate leaves. Oh, let's boil ocean water and cook the sea. Let's rub with salt, 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 and make that cabbage cake.
You know, you saw my lighter hair, Michael Hogue, and you thought, you know, I was thinking of doing that for the summer too, lightening my hair up for the summer. Which would be so you. It would, wouldn't it? Not that this is so me. Unless you knew me in college, then you'd think I was a blonde. Oh, what on earth is that? Because I don't have my list, I don't know who will be next on deck, but before I bring up my handy-dandy, lovable, trusty sidekick, Bob Rashkow, I've got this handy-dandy bag here, and it's not filled with drugs. A girl could only cook. But this would have a life savings for our feature this evening. What do I have? I'll have to pass it around. I'll figure out something for it. But I want everybody to put something in because this woman is so incredibly worth it. I'm going to hunt you down like the animals you've already given away lots and lots of money. So please, in the interim, please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Bob Rashkow. And he's like, I'm already ready.
Bob and Bob. Is it a two Bob night tonight? Thanks everybody for coming out to hear the great Robin Fine.
Yay.
Robin, these two little minor pieces of news came pretty close to making my day earlier. On the day of your feature, Donald Fagen of Steely Dan is releasing a new solo album for a and the Monkees are touring with Mike Nesmith.
Oh,
partially in tribute to the late Davy Jones, but I'm sure his spirit will be there, so that almost made it. Take the last train to Glenview. No. This starts with a few epigraphs. January 2005. The plane is 7 stories high and can seat 555 passengers. Photos of Titan reveal rocky surface and lakes of what astronomers think are frozen gases. Bush is inaugurated for second term. Quote, "When you stand for your liberty, we will stand with you," unquote, referring to Iraq. 3 days earlier, the White House reports that, quote, "no weapons of mass destruction were found," unquote. I'm on a flight to nowhere. Why am I going? What will I find when I get off? Will I face a firing squad, a mass of irate juggalos who resent my trespass over their territory? It seems the farther I travel, the more I stay in one place, yet the more I stay in one place, the more everything stabilizes into meaninglessness. When this flight is over, I will sigh, shrug my shoulders, and trace my footsteps back to the warm, welcoming retreat of slumber. And this is the Johnny B. Good invitational prompt poem that I read last Monday night. I can't believe it was 9 nights ago already at Stella's. Unyielding fog, irrepressible fog, fog that lets you know it means business, determined, ruthless, noisy fog. I'm mired in it. Not Provincetown on a dizzy October. Not LA when your breath disappears only to sneak back up to you. Not the fog of a stupor of lazy, blissful indifference. My own unique strain of fog. The fog of indecision, uncertainty. Like the others, I can't see beyond it. I can't advance past or through it. It blinds me, it clouds up my mind. When it finally leaves, it evaporates, painstaking and so slow. Its residue in its wake, as if to whisper in my brain, proceed, I give you a momentary break. But be on the lookout for the leaden crushing weight. Sisyphus is at the foot of the hill, once more, preparing to heave and blow in your next storm. While my mind is still clear, I will not heed this acrid prophecy. Thank you. Thank you, Gary.
I suppose if anybody is interested in having music, there's a wonderful, charming piano player here that would like to accompany you because he's just that awesome. Before I go on to the next person who is up on deck, whom I believe was Patrick Hurley, I wanted to say that I've been in a mad rush because I was out of town for a bunch of days, and I've got a collection of books that I'm supposed to release, and they haven't been done yet, but, well, they're almost done. But I had to release other books, so smaller books, chapbooks turned into books by other people, and this is, it's not always my artwork for it, like Kyle Hemmings did Anime Junkie. Well, that means you've got like cool artwork that would come from drawings from things from classrooms and stuff that was able to pull that off, which is a really cool looking book. Interstice by Matthew Guzman. Somebody else came up with the artwork from this, and I'm like, that's awesome, and I had to come up with typefaces to try to match what he did for the covers for it, but it's a very cool looking book. And CEE, who's done a couple of chapbooks to books in the past, Gunther, there's a bunch of things that relate to thinking about things in the realm of Hitler, which is really kind of cool, and you're taking artwork from past things from World War II and stuff, which was legal to actually do. But there's a bunch of cool stuff, and if anybody's interested in knowing about chapbooks, which if they are long enough might become a Perfect Bound ISBN book, come and bug me about it, or mail me anything at jkuypers@scars.tv, and that's enough of my touting on all about the stuff that I do with publishing and stuff. And the next person up is Mr. Patrick Hurley, and just so that we know, the person up on deck, he wrote his name down as Primo, but I think it's a Primitivo, but give it up for Mr. Patrick Hurley. Yeah. He's like, I'm ready for the music.
Yeah, or not. I'm gonna skip this time because I don't hear where it's going. So I'll do a new one that I haven't titled yet. They called me God, made offerings and worshipped me. I laughed in their faces, said they were naive. They said, "Surely you must be a god to laugh at us in such a way." They called me a sage. Buddha returned and followed me to hear me speak. But all I said was gibberish. "This is prophetic," they cried. "The true meaning of life rests in your words." They called me pious and righteous, bowed before me on rugs, saying, "Truly Allah guides me," while I drank and smoked, entertaining their youth, wiping my feet on the rugs as if welcome mats. "He comes to bless my sajada," they proclaimed, while whipping themselves. They called me omnipotent. I simply answered their questions with whatever came to my head. Truth or relevance played no part in my response. But that I responded was enough to be a genius in their eyes, so hungry for food. As I awoke, my head in a pool of blood, they proclaimed, "He has risen from the dead. Surely you are divine." I said, "Dead? No." "Passed out drunk?" "Yes." "He has taken a spirit quest. We must follow," they said. "Do as you like. Just remember the ground is hard," I said. The day came when they went away, saying, "He is a false god, tricking us into subservience." He laughed in our faces, spoke in gibberish, smoked and drank, and bedded our women, filled our heads with lies, then off they went to follow another. At last, true sanctuary, I said. So I have books with me. I have copies of my third book, my fourth book, my fifth book, and my eighth book with me. The fifth and eighth book and the fourth book are printed. I have copies printed on recycled paper bags, something that Water of Life Press, I believe, started. And I have a press too, but no ISBN numbers or any of that stuff.
That's what, like, happy-go-lucky printers. You know,
But,
it costs a lot of money to get a printer, an ISBN thing.
But the paper feels great in your hand. So this is from my eighth book, Screws Fall Out, for Nadia. Your eyes, looking up into mine, I tickle your tummy and kiss your feet. Smiles deeper than any ocean pull joy out of my dark shadows, sparking a light within the void that holds the ankles of my soul down. And you, face aglow with the mystery of life and the energy of discovery, giggling at the raw simplicity of peekaboo. Soon, this world will dull the shine, rob the light. Hold that ember tight. Warm your spirit against the cold to come. We celebrate and welcome you. This is from my third book, Pain of Love and Loneliness. You walked and I ran, and I ran and I ran. You were there, but I was not, but I was not, but I was not. Though distasteful and even disdainful, the events took place, the events took place, the events took, the events took, the events, the events, the events. There was nothing left to give, so nothing was left. And we gave more until there was nothing again, and we saw it for what it was, nothing. Then I walked away and you ran. I held out a hand you drew within, the fingers, afraid to touch, closed. Then I walked away and you ran. What was it I was feeling then? That thought of emotion captured for a brief moment, then set free to the air, lost from my recollection of thoughts that I'd had on spring mornings when the sun arises anew to warm the petals of eager April flowers, excited by the prospects of warm rain and days longer than nights when winter is put to bed for a moment and the true color of skin is seen beneath the pale shadow of steel gray clouds grown anemic from life. Then set free. Then set free. Then set free. To question the value of freedom. While I sat, you stood with eyes joined, though love removed. Set aside for blindness. Here it is now, open, before us. The smile that was thrown away has found its way back home. And what am I to do with it? One short poem that I haven't done in a while. Sort of based on the idea of a Gordian knot, which has a story about Alexander going into a village and solving the Gordian knot in his way, which was sort of a quick slice of the knot, known now as the Alexander solution. So the poem is, no Alexander solution for us. Your hair, delicately brushed above your ears by soft fingertips. Your hand on me, holding tight. I am with you and I am happy. Our demons kept at bay for the evening. We are blessed with equality, humility, humbleness. Wrapped around each other, a knot of flesh, Gordian in complexity. Slowly, we dig out the folds and begin to love each other for real. Thank you.
All these hot studs coming up here. I'm getting all, I feel rude that I'm just this girl with all these men coming up when I call their name. Awesome. I'm getting all giddy. I want to tell people the person on deck after our open micer is going to be Buddha 309. He's not up yet, but the man that's up right now is a new man, Mr. He is Primo. He wrote it down that way, but Primo Tivo, I think. Give it up for our newbie on stage. Give it up, Primo!
All right, I'm actually going to need Miss Robin Fine up here to feature the night. Yes, yeah, let's do a little collaboration for her. And as she comes up on stage, I would like to say that what we are going to be performing is a collaborative work. And I'll give you that. And you know what? So this one is called Stuttering, and it goes a little something like this. I usually lost for words. This has got to be the first, and I'm trying to find the reason why I'm stuttering. Something funny's happening. I'm at a place I've never been, and there's got to be a reason why I'm stuttering. I struggle with words, stammering and stuttering. Incompetent teachers diagnosing not English proficient. Need more than reading comprehension. Stumbling, falling on consonants and syllables. I read with brick wall apprehension. I say, hey, 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 hello, my name is Primo, and it's so frustrating, 'cause I don't want to let you down. My mind is racing, but it won't come out.
No one to pick me up, fly away with me. Shame, misunderstanding, no one to say, you are okay. Calling out to mommy and papi like a mantra, waiting for clarity, love, understanding instead, while a fire burned in my face. If you can't say it, don't talk at all.
I can't believe that I can't talk, but it's not my fault, 'cause there's something that you do that's got me stuttering. There's so much I want to say, but something's getting in my way, and I got to figure out how to stop stuttering. Surprise! Pre-adolescents morph to family spokesman. at government offices, parent-teacher conferences, restaurant menus, tongue-paralyzing pizza orders using the stutterer's worst nightmare, the telephone. Me and my disfluent mouth. I want to tell you who I am, where I'm from, where I go, and I want to be alone. I want you to know me better. Once I get my thoughts together, it should be so easy to tell you how I'm feeling, but I can't stop stuttering.
This ambivalent spirit hung around my ankles like shackles with spokesman title stripped away. Gradually, Big Brother card defaulted to younger brother. Mommy and Poppy would say, brighter and smarter. Damn! They never realized with encouragement responsibility molds clay. They never realized empowerment was faster than the shit-encrusted walls of negativity.
I want to tell you who I am, where I'm from, where I go, and I want to be alone. I want you to know me better. Once I get my thoughts together, it should be so easy to tell you how I'm feeling, but I can't stop stuttering. I start to be taken away, I start to be taken away pain and shame, away verbal bullets from peers shot every chance they got. Isolation torn into tiny pieces. Loneliness was kicked to the curb. Music welcomed me to the party. I drank the cocktail of 7-note scales, ate the hors d'oeuvres of sharps and flats, mingled with the clave drum and bass, flirted with the horny horns, slow danced with lyrics, melodies, and harmonies. Music nourished heart and mind.
Epiphany, voice match pitched with singers on the radio. Reality.
Set sail to my own vision. Now my namaste is here to stay. Amen, Ache, praise the Lord. I have voice. I do believe that I can talk. And singing feels like I can walk. And the beat makes me so fluent. And there's no more stuttering. No more stuttering. Thank you. It's always a lot of fun to do the collaborations with people. This one, this is not, I mean, this is kind of like a journal entry. There is this, or there was, I believe, this cafe called Nothing Less Cafe in Logan Square, and I used to go there a lot. But they are closing down the cafe because they raised the rent, and they had an open mic there every Wednesday that I would go to. So this is just a reflection of that cafe. A few weeks back, I attended the Nothing Less 1-year anniversary open mic. I was elated for Jose, who used to run the cafe, and those of us who have built a sense of community in this space. I look around the room and see so many different colors and ethnicities as I experience the distinct talents. I feel fortunate that this event is free, even though a great way to show appreciation is to give a donation. I take in the mosaic presence of the room and I feel good about being here. I might share a word or two with some of the participants at the end, but always I come away with a looming question. Do the hipsters know what their presence really means? I assume that, like most, they lack a sense of neighborhood history to realize that these cafes and cheap boutiques were once mom and pop bodegas and neighborhood shops that sold affordable goods and services to Juan, Miguel, and Rosa. Some of those longtime neighborhood institutions are still here, but the clock is ticking with the exception of restaurants, who have a universal appeal. These ethnic eateries just raise the prices and skimp on the portions. The mediocre Mexican restaurant becomes the official hipster hangout, as the frequency of the visit can deceive you into thinking that subpar tasting food is the best Mexican fare on earth. Still, some businesses changed ownership but kept their name, and in this way they are appropriated. For the most part, my interaction with hipsters have been refreshing, since they are some of the most progressive people I have ever met. The social politically conscious, bike riding, shaggy haired, thick glass wearing, facial hair sporting hipster predominantly comes in Caucasian, but is not limited to this persuasion. Yet, I still wonder if they know they are a part of a systematic process of community displacement. Further still, I wonder if they care that they are driving out longtime residents because they were willing and able to pay more rent. Do they know that they are walking up and down the sidewalk where a year ago someone was shot? Do they know that the cafes and the coffee shops are not meant for long-time residents? Do they know that El Barrio is